Day 248. 2 Corinthians 8. 1 But we make known to you, brethren, the grace of Jehovah that is given to the assemblies of Macedonia. 2 For in the many trials of their afflictions there was an abundance to their joy, and the depth of their poverty was made to superabound in the wealth of their generosity. 3 For I testify that according to their power and more than their power in the willingness of their soul, for they begged us with much entreaty that they might share in the grace of the ministry of the holy ones. 5 And not according to what we had hoped, but they offered themselves to our Elohim first and also to us in the will of Jehovah. 6 That we would seek from Titus, that as he started, thus he would complete also this grace in you. 7 But just as you abound in everything, in faith, in the word, in knowledge, in all diligence and in our love for you, so also, you shall abound in this grace. 8 I am not commanding simply to give you orders, but I am testing the truth of your love with the diligence of your companions. 9 For you know the grace of our Elohim Yeshua the Messiah, who for your sake became poor, when he was rich, so that you might become rich by his poverty. 10 But to counsel, I advise you this to help you, because from last year you began, not only to purpose, but also to do. 11 Finish now by works that thing which you desire, for as you had eagerness to desire, so you should complete by works from what you have. 12 For if there is a willingness, so it is accepted according to what one has, it is not according to what one does not have. 13 For it is not that others would have relief and you would have distress. 14 But that your abundance might come together at this time with their lack of these things, so that their abundance also of those things would be for your lack, that there would be equality. 15 As it is written, he who increased took no surplus and he who took little was not deprived. 16 But thank Jehovah who gave this concern for you to the heart of Titus. 17 For he accepted our request and because he was greatly concerned, by his desire he went out among you. 18 But we sent our brother with him, whose praise in the gospel is in all the churches. 19 In this way also he was truly chosen from the churches to go out with us in this grace of ministry from us for the glory of Jehovah and for our own encouragement. 20 But we fear in this lest anyone impute to us a flaw in this abundance that is ministered by us. 21 For we are concerned for what is right, not only before Jehovah, but also before men. 22 But we sent our brother with them, who had been proved by us, that he is diligent always in many things, but now he is all the more diligent by the trust of many concerning you. 23 If therefore Titus is my partner and helper among you, and if our other brethren are apostles of the churches of the glory of the Messiah. 24 From now on show the demonstration of your love and our pride in you among them in the presence of all the churches. Numbers 16. 1 And Kor the son of Isar the son of Koth the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, and On the son of Phaleth the son of Reuben, spoke too and rose up before Moses, and 250 men of the sons of Israel, chiefs of the assembly, chosen counselors, and men of renown. 3 They rose up against Moses and Aaron, and said, Let it be enough for you that all the congregation are holy, and Elohim is among them, and why do ye set up yourselves against the congregation of Elohim? 4 And when Moses heard it, he fell on his face. 5 And he spoke to Kor and all his assembly, saying, Jehovah has visited and known those that are his and who are holy, and has brought them to himself, and whom he has chosen for himself, he has brought to himself. 6 This do ye, take to yourselves censers, Kor and all his company. 7 And put fire on them, and put incense on them before Elohim tomorrow, and it shall come to pass that the man whom Elohim has chosen, he shall be holy, let it be enough for you, ye sons of Levi. 8 And Moses said to Kor, Hearken to me, ye sons of Levi. 9 Is it a little thing for you, that the Jehovah of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel, and brought you near to himself to minister in the services of the tabernacle of Elohim, and to stand before the tabernacle to minister for them? 10 And he has brought thee near and all thy brethren the sons of Levi with thee, and do ye seek to be priests also? 11 Thus it is with thee and all thy congregation which is gathered together against Jehovah, and who is Aaron, that ye murmur against him. 12 And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram sons of Eliab, and they said, We will not go up. 13 Is it a little thing that thou hast brought us up to a land flowing with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, and that thou altogether rulest over us? 14 Thou art a prince, and hast thou brought us into a land flowing with milk and honey, and hast thou given us an inheritance of land and vineyards. Wouldest thou have put out the eyes of those men? We will not go up. 15 And Moses was exceeding indignant, and said to Elohim, Do thou take no heed to their sacrifice, I have not taken away the desire of any one of them, neither have I hurt any one of them. 16 And Moses said to Kor, Sanctify thy company, and be ready before Elohim, thou and Aaron and they, tomorrow. 17 And take each man his censer, and ye shall put incense upon them, and shall bring each one his censer before Elohim, 250 censers, and thou and Aaron shall bring each his censer. 18 And each man took his censer, and they put on them fire, and laid incense on them, and Moses and Aaron stood by the doors of the tabernacle of witness. 19 And Kor raised up against them all his company by the door of the tabernacle of witness, and the glory of Elohim appeared to all the congregation. 20 And Elohim spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, 21 Separate yourselves from the midst of this congregation, and I will consume them at once. 22 And they fell on their faces, and said, O Jehovah, the Jehovah of spirits and of all flesh, if one man has sinned, shall the wrath of Elohim be upon the whole congregation. 23 And Elohim spoke to Moses, saying, 24 Speak to the congregation, saying, Depart from the company of Kor round about. 25 And Moses rose up and went to Dathan and Abiram, and all the elders of Israel went with him. 26 And he spoke to the congregation, saying, Separate yourselves from the tents of these stubborn men, and touch nothing that belongs to them, lest ye be consumed with them in all their sin. 27 And they stood aloof from the tent of Kor round about, and Dathan and Abiram went forth and stood by the doors of their tents, and their wives and their children and their store. 28 And Moses said, Hereby shall ye know that Elohim has sent me to perform all these works, that I have not done them of myself. 29 If these men shall die according to the death of all men, if also their visitation shall be according to the visitation of all men, then Elohim has not sent me. 30 But if Elohim shall show by a wonder, and the earth shall open her mouth and swallow them up, and their houses, and their tents, and all that belongs to them, and they shall go down alive into Hades, then ye shall know that these men have provoked Elohim. 31 And when he ceased speaking all these words, the ground clave asunder beneath them. 32 And the ground opened, and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that were with Kor, and their cattle. 33 And they went down and all that they had, alive into Hades, and the ground covered them, and they perished from the midst of the congregation. 34 And all Israel round about them fled from the sound of them, for they said, Lest the earth swallow us up also. 35 And fire went forth from Elohim, and devoured the 250 men that offered incense. 36 And Elohim said to Moses, 37 And to Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest, take up the brazen censers out of the midst of the men that have been burnt, and scatter the strange fire yonder, for they have sanctified the censers. 38 Of these sinners against their own souls, and do thou make them beaten plates a covering to the altar, because they were brought before Elohim and hallowed, and they became a sign to the children of Israel. 39 And Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest took the brazen censers, which the men who had been burnt brought near, and they put them as a covering on the altar. 40 A memorial to the children of Israel that no stranger might draw nigh, who is not of the seed of Aaron, to offer incense before Elohim, so he shall not be as Kor and as they that conspired with him, as Elohim spoke to him by the hand of Moses. 41 And the children of Israel murmured the next day against Moses and Aaron, saying, Ye have killed the people of Elohim. 42 And it came to pass when the congregation combined against Moses and Aaron, that they ran impetuously to the tabernacle of witness, and the cloud covered it, and the glory of Elohim appeared. 43 And Moses and Aaron went in front of the tabernacle of witness. 44 And Elohim spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, 45 Depart out of the midst of this congregation, and I will consume them at once, and they fell upon their faces. 46 And Moses said to Aaron, Take a censer, and put on it fire from the altar, and put incense on it, and carry it away quickly into the camp, and make atonement for them, for wrath is gone forth from the presence of Elohim, it has begun to destroy the people. 47 And Aaron took as Moses spoke to him, and ran among the congregation, for already the plague had begun among the people, and he put on incense, and made an atonement for the people. 48 And he stood between the dead and the living, and the plague ceased. 49 And they that died in the plague were 14,700, besides those that died on account of Kor. 50 And Aaron returned to Moses to the door of the tabernacle of witness, and the plague ceased. Jeremiah 20. 1 Now Paschur the son of Immer, the priest, who also had been appointed chief of the house of Elohim, heard Jeremiah's prophesying these words. 2 And he smote him, and cast him into the dungeon which was by the gate of the upper house that was set apart, which was by the house of Elohim. 3 And Paschur brought Jeremiah out of the dungeon, and Jeremiah said to him, Elohim has not called thy name Paschur, but exile. 4 For thus saith Elohim, Behold, I will give thee up to captivity with all thy friends, and they shall fall by the sword of their enemies, and thine eyes shall see it, and I will give thee and all Judah into the hands of the king of Babylon, and they shall carry them captives, and cut them in pieces with swords. 5 And I will give all the strength of this city, and all the labors of it, and all the treasures of the king of Judah, into the hands of his enemies, and they shall bring them to Babylon. 6 And thou and all the dwellers in thine house shall go into captivity, and thou shalt die in Babylon, and there thou and all thy friends shall be buried, to whom thou hast prophesied lies. 7 Thou hast deceived me, O Elohim, and I have been deceived, thou hast been strong, and hast prevailed, I am become a laughing stock, I am continually mocked every day. 8 For I will laugh with my bitter speech, I will call upon rebellion and misery, for the word of Elohim is become a reproach to me and a mockery all my days. 9 Then I said, I will by no means name the name of Elohim, and I will no more at all speak in his name. But it was a burning fire flaming in my bones, and I am utterly weakened on all sides, and cannot bear up. 10 For I have heard the reproach of many gathering round, saying, Conspire ye, and let us conspire together against him, even all his friends, watch his intentions, if perhaps he shall be deceived, and we shall prevail against him, and we shall be avenged on him. 11 But Elohim was with me as a mighty man of war, therefore they persecuted me, but could not perceive anything against me, they were greatly confounded, for they perceived not their disgrace, which shall never be forgotten. 12 O Elohim, that provest just deeds, understanding the reins and hearts, let me see thy vengeance upon them, for to thee I have revealed my cause. 13 Sing ye to Elohim, sing praise to him, for he has rescued the soul of the poor from the hand of evildoers. 14 Cursed be the day wherein I was born, the day wherein my mother brought me forth, let it not be blessed. 15 Cursed be the man who brought the glad tidings to my father, saying, A male child is born to thee. 16 Let that man rejoice as the cities which Elohim overthrew in wrath, and repented not, let him hear crying in the morning, and loud lamentation at noon. 17 Because he slew me not in the womb, and my mother became not my tomb, and her womb always great with me. 18 Why is it that I came forth of the womb to see troubles and distresses, and my days are spent in shame? Jeremiah 21. 1 The word that came from Elohim to Jeremiah, when King Sedekias sent to him Paschor the son of Melchias, and Sophonias son of Basaeas, the priest, saying, To inquire of Elohim for us, for the king of Babylon has risen up against us, if Elohim will do according to all his wonderful works, and the king shall depart from us. 3 And Jeremiah said to them, Thus shall ye say to Sedekias king of Judah. 4 Thus saith Elohim, Behold, I will turn back the weapons of war wherewith ye fight against the Chaldeans that have besieged you from outside the wall, and I will gather them into the midst of this city. 5 And I will fight against you with an outstretched hand and with a strong arm, with wrath and great anger. 6 And I will smite all the dwellers in this city, both men and cattle, with grievous pestilence, and they shall die. 7 And after this, thus saith Elohim, I will give Sedekias king of Judah, and his servants, and the people that is left in this city from the pestilence, and from the famine, and from the sword, into the hands of their enemies, that seek their lives, and they shall cut them in pieces with the edge of the sword, I will not spare them, and I will not have compassion upon them. 8 And thou shalt say to this people, Thus saith Elohim, Behold, I have set before you the way of life, and the way of death. 9 He that remains in this city shall die by the sword, and by famine, but he that goes forth to advance to the Chaldeans that have besieged you, shall live, and his life shall be to him for a spoil, and he shall live. 10 For I have set my face against this city for evil, and not for good, it shall be delivered into the hands of the king of Babylon, and he shall consume it with fire. 11 O house of the king of Judah, hear ye the word of Elohim. 12 O house of David, thus saith Elohim, Judge judgment in the morning, and act rightly, and rescue the spoiled one from the hand of him that wrongs him, lest mine anger be kindled like fire, and it burn, and there be none to quench it. 13 Behold, I am against thee that dwellest in the valley of Sor, in the plain country, even against them that say, Who shall alarm us? Or who shall enter into our habitation? 14 And I will kindle a fire in the forest thereof, and it shall devour all things round about it. Psalms 143. 1 A Psalm of David, when his son pursued him. O Elohim, attend to my prayer, hearken to my supplication in thy truth, hear me in thy righteousness. 2. And enter not into judgment with thy servant, for in thy sight shall no man living be justified. 3. For the enemy has persecuted my soul, he has brought my life down to the ground, he has made me to dwell in a dark place, as those that have been long dead. 4. Therefore my spirit was grieved in me, my heart was troubled within me. 5. I remembered the days of old, and I meditated on all thy doings, yea, I meditated on the works of thine hands. 6. I spread forth my hands to thee, my soul thirsts for thee, as a dry land. Pause. 7. Hear me speedily, O Elohim, my spirit has failed, turn not away thy face from me, else I shall be like to them that go down to the pit. 8. Cause me to hear thy mercy in the morning, for I have hoped in thee, make known to me, O Elohim, the way wherein I should walk, for I have lifted up my soul to thee. 9. Deliver me from mine enemies, O Elohim, for I have fled to thee for refuge. 10. Teach me to do thy will, for thou art my Jehovah, thy good spirit shall guide me in the straight way. 11. Thou shalt quicken me, O Elohim, for thy name's sake, in thy righteousness thou shalt bring my soul out of affliction. 12. And in thy mercy thou wilt destroy mine enemies, and wilt destroy all those that afflict my soul, for I am thy servant.